so glad that you're here. This practice will be about an hour long, and we will start in the chair doing a variety of different things, and then we'll come up to standing and use the chair for a variety of different standing poses and sequences, and then we'll come back down to either the chair or the floor if you choose to do some poses that can be done on the back, or you can also do the poses in the chair if you want. But you might make sure before we begin that you're in a comfortable chair, first of all, and if you're using a mat, that you have all four legs of the chair on the mat. If you're not using a mat, you might just make sure that your chair is on a steady surface. Like if you're practicing on a carpet, then a mat might not be necessary. As long as the chair is not going to slide when we come up to standing, that's what's important. You might also have a tennis ball, or if you have any kind of ball, one of the reflexology balls, or even a lacrosse ball, anything that is ball-like that we can use to massage our feet in a little bit. And then you might also have a blanket that'll be used a little bit later when we come back down, or when we come to the floor to do some seated pose or two, and then when we come onto the back, it's just nice to have a blanket to support the head and possibly underneath the knees. So you can stop this video at any time, get what you need, get a glass of water or whatever, and then come on back. So let's begin. So today's practice is about developing or cultivating a lightness of being, because we're probably all feeling this sense of heaviness right now with all that's going on in the world, and it would be important to cultivate a sense of lightness of heart and to help get centered in our body, to feel grounded in our bodies. That's really helpful at times like this. We'll be focusing on some balance poses today, a couple different kinds of twists, some different movements to get the body moving, which is wonderful because the body loves movement, as we know, and appreciates movement, but then also incorporating a couple poses that help to calm our nervous system, that help us to settle down. So let's begin. So take your comfortable seat and let your feet find the floor. I know you can't see my feet because of the arrangement of the camera, but just arrange your feet so that they feel nicely grounded. And sit tall on your chair. Have your palms on your lap, and let's turn the palms to face down. This helps to support a feeling of being grounded in our bodies. I wanted to start by sharing this poem with you. This is from Dana Fouts. This is called Centering. Here, right now, bring your mind to this place and time. Invite it, even if it resists, to sit and witness what it is to be alive. Let there be no ulterior motive in this moment, but to be. Rest on the waves of breath and choose to experience all of it. Let thoughts float through and leave again as the mind slowly settles like snow inside a shaken paperweight. This is all there is, here, right here, and now. And now let your heart rise, let your side body be long, soften your shoulders, let yourself be present. Tune into this environment that you're in, wherever you are, at home or a room in your house. Just tune into being there, the sounds that are around you. Tune into the feel of the ground underneath your feet. And now tune into your breathing. And gently inhaling, slowly fill up the lungs. And exhale slowly, releasing shoulders, softening the face. As you inhale, feel the rib cage expand out to the right and left, front and back. to just be here now, feeling your breath. And if your mind is still pretty busy, you might say to yourself silently or out loud, if you want, be here now. Be here now. Feel your breath deepening. Feel everything settling within, just like the snow in a shaken paperweight. We pick up the paperweight, we shake it, and the scene becomes very active, and then when we set it down, everything seems to settle. The scene becomes very clear. Now let's bring our hands together at our heart in Anjali Mudra. Feel that nice connection between your hands, your thumbs resting at your heart. And you're honoring yourself by being here, by practicing, by taking care of yourself in this way. You're honoring that light within yourself. And you might let yourself feel gratitude for this opportunity to take care of yourself in this way. And then I'm going to chant the sound of Om one time. Remember, Om is that vibration that's symbolic of the connection that we have with each other and with the world around us. And even if we can't be in the same room together practicing yoga, we can still merge that energy that you're bringing to your practice right now, merge it together and send it out into the world. There are a lot of different people practicing right now at the same time that you are. And collectively, that's a lot of positivity and light that's being cultivated in the world right now. So if you'd like to join in, you could join in at home, or if you'd like to just listen and join in silently, that's fine too, whatever you like. Go ahead and exhale fully down, take a deep inhalation. Start by moving some of the joints a little bit. So start with just moving your fingers here. And then turn your palms up in front of you and fan your fingers in and fan them out. So nice to encourage those fingers to move, especially if, I don't know about where you are right now, but it's a little bit chilly outside, and even in my house it's a little chilly. So our joints tend to get a little stiff, so this is a good way to move things and to warm our joints up. And then fan your fingers in and make a gentle fist and curl it in. And then just open your hands, fan your fingers out. Try to keep your shoulders down and back and your chest lifted. We'll do that a couple times. Fan your fingers in and fan them out. Fan them in and fan them out. Fan them in and fan them out. And fan them in and fan them out. And then drop your arms down so that they're resting alongside of you. Now fan your fingers in, make a gentle fist, and pull the fist up towards your shoulders like you're doing a bicep curl. And then straighten your arms and then let your just fingers uncurl again. And do that a couple times. So now we start to move the elbow joints here a little bit and maybe warm up the upper arms. It's a beautiful day outside today. The sun's shining. I walked the dog this morning. He was ready for a walk. He's been cooped up inside a little bit more lately, so it was good to get out for both of us. This is a good time too to get outside when you can. We were driving around town yesterday, and I was amazed by the number of people that are outside exercising. You know, people walking and people walking their dogs, riding their bikes. going jogging. It's a really good thing to see. We can really appreciate being outside more, and it's really good for your well-being to be outside in the natural environment. Okay, so now bring your arms forward and then bend your elbows, bring your fingertips to your shoulders, or you can always bring it to your chest if that's more comfortable. Take your elbows up, out, and down. So we'll open up the shoulders now. Warming up the joints. Good. Do a couple more. Great. And then bring your elbows forward, take your arms forward, turn your palms to face one another, give yourself a hug. And then take your arms out wide. You know that, I just love this one. This is the slow motion Michael Phelps move. Open wide. He does this a lot more rapidly when he's warming up for his swim meets and to do his laps. But we're doing this to, open up the chest and also stretch out the back. Okay, we'll do one more to each side. Perfect. Okay, now take your arms out wide and just release your arms down alongside of you with your palms facing forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up, and then turn your palms forward. Exhale, lower your hands back down. Inhale, sweep them up. Exhale, down. A couple more. Inhale up, and exhale down. Inhale up, and exhale down. One more time. Inhale up, and exhale down. Lovely. And then just let your arms rest. Let's take the shoulders up to the ears, back and down, clearing out the chest. Doesn't that feel nice? One more time. Great. Now keep your shoulders down and just tilt your head to the right. Just a little bit of stretch to the neck. You could even take your right hand to your shoulder and just gently hold the shoulder down for that length through the side of the neck there. You might have a lot of tension there as of lately. And then bring your head back up, release that arm, and then tilt your ear in the other direction, and you might bring your hand across, set it on your shoulder, lengthen through that side of the neck. And then release your hand, and let your head just sit on top of your spine. Take your fingers, so I got my fingers spread here, I'm going to bring them to the back of my neck, and I'm going to come forward towards my chest. And I'm going to do that a couple times. I might even drop my head a little bit and then comb forward. So I'm really massaging the muscles there, the connective tissue. Think of it as releasing some of that clutter that we tend to accumulate in our neck and shoulders. Great. Okay. Now we're going to switch our attention to our feet. So if you have a tennis ball, bring the tennis ball underneath your right foot. Let's see if I can move back here a little bit so you can see my feet. I mean, not like you need to see my feet as I'm holding a tennis ball because it's not that, complex. It's good to see the whole picture, I guess. So just run them back and forth. If you don't have a tennis ball, then you could already be massaging your feet if you're familiar with that massage. If you're not, then I'm going to show you in a moment. You're just going back and forth, opening up the bottom of the feet. Make sure you get the instep and the outstep. Heel, top of the foot. So good. Okay, then if you're loving this, you could keep going or set your ball aside and bring this right foot up now and use your thumbs to massage the bottom of your foot. Stretch it, open your toes, and then either bring your fingers down between your toes, my toes are a little today, or you could hold on to the top of your foot, whatever you like. And then take your toes straight back towards your ankle. Remember, we don't want to sickle the foot, so you're going straight back. So we're not doing anything like that or down, but we're trying to take it straight back towards the shin. And then pull it straight forward towards the heel. now take your foot in circles. And go in the other direction. And then take your fingers out. Make a fist with that same hand. Now comb down the bottom of your foot. And pound your foot. Tap it. And then take your hand to the top of your foot again and pull your toes forward towards your heel. Pick up your leg now. Sit nice and tall. So if you feel like you're starting to curl in, you want to think about lifting up through your chest. You could even have your hand resting on the chair, as a nice reminder to keep lifting up. Release the shoulders, pick up the leg, move this leg back and forth. So we'll start to open up the hip. Yeah, super. And then bring the leg down to the floor, extend your leg forward. Remember to keep a little bend in your knee. We don't want to lock out the knee or hyperflex through the knee. And spread the toes, rest on your other leg. Take a big inhalation as you exhale, hinge forward. So we open up the hamstrings, back of the leg. Enjoy your breath. And then inhale to come up. Great, and then massage this whole leg. So from your hip, work your way down. Again, this is a little connective tissue massage, a little tiny one. We could spend a lot more doing that, but I wanted to offer you a well-rounded practice today with a little bit of everything. Who knows? Maybe with this time that we have at home, maybe you'll see a lot more kinds of videos coming out too. I know that there are a lot of teachers that are making different videos, so I think there's going to be a lot of choices out there soon. So, okay, this leg is done. Bring your ball back in if you're using the ball. Bring it underneath your other foot and massage back and forth. Along the instep and the outstep. The heel, top of the foot. So this week, later this week, it's supposed to be close to 80 degrees. So my plan right now is to tape some classes outside on Friday. I'm going to tape hopefully a class like this one, a gentle class where half of it's done in the chair, and then some mat classes. If I can keep my puppy dog away from me, he'll be inside when I'll be taking those classes, otherwise I won't get anything done. Okay, you can set your ball aside, unless you'd like to keep doing that, and then bring your foot up. Use your thumbs to massage the bottom of your foot. And open your toes. And then bring your fingers down between your toes. Take your toes straight back towards your ankle, forward towards your heel. Do it again, back and forth. Shake your foot. And circle it. So remember, all these little movements that we do for the smaller joints are just as important as the big movements that we do using our bigger muscles, because they really help to keep our joints feeling good, prevent them from getting stiff. Because it's not fun being stiff, I know that, feeling that stiffness. Okay, take your fingers out, make a fist, comb down your foot. Pound it, clap it, and then take your hand to the top of your foot, pull your toes forward towards your heel, and then pick up your leg. Remember, you want to sit nice and tall. Try to prevent that curling to happen, and then shake your foot and move this leg back and forth. Great, bring your leg forward, and as you lean on the other leg, remember to spread your toes. My heel's on the floor, my toes are lifted. I'm going to inhale. As you exhale, come forward. Still keeping that nice long spine. And keep that length all the way to the crown of your head. Enjoy your breath. And then apart with your knees bent. Just go in and out. If you want to get fancy, you could do the Charleston, right? That's got to be good for our brain health. Okay, and then you can stop that. And now let's do some movements for the spine. So bring your right hand down alongside of you, take your other arm up and over. Inhale, and as you exhale, reach over, lengthening from your hip all the way up through your arm there. Inhale to come up, release that arm, take the other arm up and over. Breathe. Inhale to come back up, release that arm. Now take your feet a little bit wider, place your hands on your thighs. I call this one the Nordic track. So it's a gentle twisting move. It's dynamic, so we're kind of moving fluidly through it. So we're going to inhale, lift, and as you exhale, twist to the right, taking your right hand back, and then come back to facing forward. And then on the other side, inhale, lift, exhale, twist as that hand comes back. Come back to center, and let's keep going. So inhale, lifting and twisting, and come back to center, over to the other side. And then just find a pace that you like, just going back and forth a couple more times. Yeah, just like that. Okay, finish one more to each side. I love that move, it's really nice, really gentle for the spine. Perfect. Now keeping your feet as wide as they still are, a little wider than hip width, place your hands on your thighs. And we're going to do our seated cat and cow. So remember, when we're doing our cat pose, we want to try to maintain a strong back and not do any major curling of the back. So I recommend keeping your spine long, and if anything, just nodding your head forward a bit for your cat pose. So let's do it. So inhale, slide your hands back and lift your heart, take your shoulders back, doing your cow. It's a nice gentle chest opener. And then slide your hands forward. Keep your back as straight as possible and release the head down. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, release. Breathing in, open up the chest, and encouraging a lightness of heart, and then release through the back body. And do two more. Breathing in and breathing out. And then come back to sitting tall again. Great. And then bring your feet a little bit closer together. Now bring your arms forward, interlace your fingers, pull your knuckles forward. And if you want, you could nod your head down again. Opening up the upper back and the shoulders. That feels really good. Okay, and then look forward again, and then turn your palms inside out. If that doesn't feel so good on your wrist, remember you can always turn and keep your hands turned this way. And then take your arms up overhead. So lengthening through the side body. Pull your front ribs towards your back body so that we have that support through the back body. And think about lifting up from your rib cage. So you're creating more space from your rib cage to your waist. Take another big inhalation, and as you exhale, just let your arms float down. Yeah, great. Okay, now sit back against your chair. And depending on the kind of chair that you have, you might want to put a blanket back there, or if your chair doesn't have a back, then you don't have to have your back resting against the chair. It's nice too if we can sit more upright, because then we're strengthening our core while we're doing our seated asanas. So let's take hold of the right leg, hug the knee into your chest, keep your shoulders back, and then circle your foot while you're here. And reverse the other way. And then still your foot, and extend your leg forward. So some of us might slide our hand all the way up the thigh, or if you have a strap, you can always use the strap underneath your thigh. I chose not to use a strap for our class today, in case many of you don't have a strap, but the next class, I'll incorporate a strap, because by then Too, you might have found that you have a belt or a tie or a scarf. Really, any of these things can be used in place of a yoga belt. But anyway, we're not using a belt today. So with your leg extended, point and flex your foot. Opening up the back in front of the leg. Good, and then still your foot, bend your knee, bring your knee in, take it out to the side, bring it in, back to the midline, out and in, out and in. Good, okay, now bring it in, and you could do this, bring your ankle to your knee, this is our seated pigeon, spread your toes, but if this isn't comfortable on your hip, because for some of us it might not be so comfortable, we might need a different kind of way to do this. So you could sit forward, extend your leg instead, and then just bring your leg a little bit closer down, rest it on your shin, or you could even have it on the floor and take the knee out to the side. So there's this little hip opening going on, but we're still comfortable. So pick, whichever way you like, and then we're gonna inhale, as you exhale, hinge forward. And enjoy 2 full breaths here. Good. And then inhale to come back up. Great. And then bring this leg down to the floor. And now we'll focus on the other leg. So starting with taking your hand underneath your thigh, hug your knee into your chest. Proceed to circle your foot. And see how I'm keeping my shoulders down. Really focus on staying long through the neck. My shoulder blades are resting on my back. Circle the other way if you didn't change it already. Great. And then you can still your foot, extend your leg, point and flex your foot. Yeah. And then bending your knee, bring your leg in, take it out to the side for our hip opening. And this time, remember, we're going to do the hip opener, so you can bring your ankle to your knee, or you could bring it down a little bit, rest it on the shin, or bring your foot to the floor. We're taking the knee out from the center, out from the midline a little bit. And then take a big inhalation, and as you exhale, hinge forward with your belly. We want to not drop the head, remember. It's not about getting the head as low as possible, but it's really about maintaining that nice alignment when we're in our poses. Okay, and then inhale to come back up, and then bring this leg back down. Okay, and then just take your knees in and out again. Great, okay, now we're going to do a couple sun salutations in the chair. So you could release your arms down alongside of you. Palms are facing forward, so our chest is broad. Think again, cultivating that lightness of heart today. Back of your neck's long. Now inhale, sweep your arms up overhead, join your hands together and lower them to your heart. Now hug your right knee into your chest, maintain that nice long spine, and give a karate kick. Extend your leg out. And then bring your knee back in and down. Inhale, the arms sweep up again. Join your hands and bring them back down to your heart. Wonderful. Let's do another one just like that. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhaling, bring your hands down to heart center. Hug the left leg into your chest. Keep that back nice and straight. And then extend the leg forward. Good. Bring it back in. Set it down on the floor. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Join your hands and bring them back to your heart. Okay, we're going to do 2 more, and we're going to add a little bit more into that sequence. So release your arms down alongside of you, palms facing forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, join your hands, bring them to your heart. This time we'll come forward and rest on the thighs. This is our seated forward fold. You can also think of it as a seated child's pose. Okay, then bring your hands to your thighs. Lift up part way, so we're not coming up all the way. So from the side, this is
is the shape that my body's making. So you can see it's kind of like a zigzag shape. You see that? So this is Utkatasana, victorious pose in the chair. And then we'll bring our arms forward. So we're facing forward, but that's the idea is that we're creating a little bit more energy, especially in the hips. You can probably feel this in your hips. You can feel your legs working a little bit. Inhale, come all the way up now. Join your hands together and bring them to your heart. Perfect. Now bring your right leg into your chest, shoulders back. Extend the leg forward. Bring the knee back in and down. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Join your hands, bring them to your heart. Let's do another one just like that. Breathe in, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Come forward and rest on your legs. Enjoy your breath. Bring your hands to your thighs, come up part way. You can bring the arms forward. Draw from your fingertips back into your shoulders so you feel even that activation on your back. And then come all the way up, reach for the sky. Join your hands together, bring them to your heart. Hug the left leg into your chest. Good. Extend the leg. And then bring your foot back in and down. Inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, hands come to heart center. Oh, so nice. Okay, so now let's come up to standing. So you come up to standing and move the chair to the front of the mat. Well, if you're using a mat. If you're not using a mat, then just stay where you are. You want to make sure that you have room behind you, though. I would say at least 6 feet behind you. If you don't, just arrange your chair a different way so that you can extend your legs back behind you. So with your hands on the chair, now my chair's kind of got this like curved back, but I want to have my hands wider than my shoulders. So try bringing your hands out as far as possible to the back of the chair. And then step your feet back. We're going to go into downward facing dog. Step your feet back until your spine is long. You're looking down at the floor. Bend your knees. Take your hips back. And then bend your knees a little bit more deeply. Walk in towards the chair to come on back up. Great. So I just want to show you from the side what that looks like, because I know with my chair, these rungs that are there, it's kind of hard to see. So when you step back into your downward facing dog, you're lengthening your spine. If your hamstrings are tight, or if you have something going on with knees or hips, then bend the knees a little bit. Take your hips back, and then I'm drawing my shoulders down from my ears so the shoulders aren't shrugging up towards the ears, but the sides of my neck are long. Downward facing dog. And then I'm going to bend my knees, walking towards the chair to come on up. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that. All right, so back to standing with your hands on the back of the chair, if you want. If not, you can always have your hands on your hips. Take your right foot way back. So coming into a lunge. So your front knee is bent. Your back heel is off the ground. Good. This chair looks huge, doesn't it? It looks huge. Okay, now lift your heel and then lower a couple times. Stretching the calf. Doesn't that feel nice? Doing calf stretches always feels nice for me. Backs of my legs are always kind of tight, so I appreciate any opportunity to stretch them. Okay, now bring that foot in a little bit so you can bring it flat to the floor behind you, bending your front knee. Bring your hands to your hips. Take your elbows back, keep the chest broad, and then release your arms down alongside of you. And then sweep your arms forward and up. We want to be able to see our hands in front of us. I recommend not taking them like back up like that because that can hurt our neck. So keep them forward a little bit and breathe. Feel that solid ground underneath your feet.
other foot back. We're starting with our lunge first. The back heel's up, front knee is bent, and then proceed to lift and lower the heel. Lift and lower. Great, and then step that foot forward a little bit so you can bring the heel flat to the mat, your front knee is bent. Bring your hands to your hips. This is a little bit of balance too, isn't it? Then hug the elbows back, release your arms down. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And remember to keep that openness through your arms. So the sides of the neck are clear, tops of the shoulders just feel light. Any heaviness on the shoulders, let's just think about just releasing that. And then bring the hands either to your heart or to the chair and step up with your back foot. Great, and then go back into downward facing dog. Walk your feet back, take the hips back. Bend your knees, walk in towards the chair to come on back up. Right, and then inhale, sweep your arms up overhead, join your hands, and bring them to your heart. All right, so let's do a breathing technique. I'm going to move the chair out of the way. You can keep your chair in front of you, but just step back from the chair so that if you bring your arms forward, you're not going to hit the chair. I just moved mine so that I could show you how to do this breathing technique. So breath of joy. This is a pranayama technique that really gets the energy moving in our body, and it can help us just kind of push things that we're holding on to that we don't need right now at this moment, just up and out. So we clear ourselves out. So take your feet a little bit wider than hip width, have your knees slightly bent. So the breathing technique looks like this. I'm going to take my arms up, out, up, and then I'm going to hinge forward from my hips and release my arms. Like I'm just releasing, letting go of anything that I don't need right now. And then I'm going to bend my knees, use my legs to help me come back up again, and then proceed again. Out, up, release. Up, out, up, release. And then come back to standing. So let's add our breath with this. So the breath that we're using for breath of joy are 3 little sips of inhalation and then a strong exhalation through the mouth. So it'll look like this. Okay, so just want to demonstrate that. If you find that you're getting lightheaded, then don't do the inhale, 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 exhale. And instead, just breathe. But keep the arm motion going. Okay, so let's do 8 rounds. So step your feet out a little bit wider than hip width. Have your knees slightly bent, and we'll release the arms. And now we'll do 8 rounds of breath of joy. That's 3. Okay, I lost count already. I think we've got 2 more. Last one. And then stand tall, take your arms up overhead. Feel your feet grounded, feel your heart lifting, and then bring your hands back together at your heart. Wonderful. Okay, now let's do a couple lateral poses. So if you moved your chair out of the way, bring it back and put it in front of you. So from this position, we're going to step the right foot back and bend the front knee. And then turn your right toes out so that the outstep of your back foot is more or less parallel with the back edge of your mat. And your front knee is bent. And then we're going to be close enough to the chair that I'm going to turn my chest outward towards that long edge of the mat on the right side.
unless it's, this chair back is pretty high, so if yours is like that too, and if your shoulder is starting to head towards your ear, then instead bring your hand to your thigh. So it would look, move the chair to show, it would look more like this. Or you could bring your forearm to your thigh. And then I'm going to focus on hugging this hip under and hugging the knee towards the pinky toe side of the foot. So we're setting up this really nice alignment between your ankle, your knee, and your hip. I'm turning my chest outward towards that right side. Now remember, if you're using the chair, you've got your forearm on the chair. And then I'm going to take my other arm up over my head and reach it forward. And hold it here for 3 breaths. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And then inhale to come all the way up, straighten your front leg, turn your feet to parallel, and go ahead and step your feet back together. And then we'll do the other side. So if you're using the chair, you turn to face the other side of your mat, that long edge, step your feet out wide. Turn your front foot towards the chair, turn your back toes in a little bit, bend your front knee. Make sure that your knee is tracking with your second and third toe, that you can see most of your foot. If you can't see most of your foot right now, that knee might be coming forward of your ankle. So remember, you just want to have that knee stacked well over your ankle. And then bring your forearm to the chair, or if your chair has a high back like mine, then you don't have to move your chair, but I just want to show you more clearly. Hand can be on the thigh or forearm on the thigh. And then I'm bending sideways. And then I'm going to take my other arm up over my head, reaching from the fingertips to the back heel. Enjoy your breathing. Take 3 breaths here. We're building our stamina, strengthening our balance, while also stretching different areas of our body. And now inhale to come all the way up. Straighten your front leg. Turn your feet to parallel and step your feet together. Great. And then face forward here. So let's incorporate a little bit of balance with a balance pose. So you can have the chair in front of you or not, whatever you want. So I'm going to start in a nice Tadasana, mountain pose. My feet are hip width apart, parallel with one another. Then I'm going to shift my weight to my left foot, come up on the toes of my right. I can have hands on the chair if I want. And I'm going to take my left arm up and my right foot off the ground. That's it. Great. Lower your arm, lower your foot. Yeah. Okay, let's switch to the other side. Shift your weight to your other leg. You might have hands on the chair to begin. Come up onto the toes of your other foot, bending that knee, and take your arm up. Then lift that foot, your left foot. You might try letting go of the chair. Let your breath be steady. And then lower your hand and lower your foot. Wonderful. Bring your hands to the back of your chair and go into your downward facing dog, Mukha Svanasana. Step your feet back, bend the knees, take the hips back, and then bend your knees, walk in towards the chair to come on back up. All right, wonderful. So we're now going to transition to the floor. So you could move the chair off of your mat. Unless you prefer to stay in the chair to do these poses, they can certainly be done in the chair as well. If you're coming down onto the floor, have a blanket nearby, or if you've got your blanket nearby, you might have it underneath your head. Because remember, when you lay down on your mat, if your chin tends to do this, you definitely want to have that support underneath the back of your head to keep your neck long. So, I'm going to arrange the camera a little bit lower now since we're coming down to the floor. That should be good. And I'm going to go sideways. down, make our way down onto our back. And once you come onto your back, make any adjustments you need to make to be sure that your head, your neck, your shoulders are comfortable. I've got the blanket underneath my head, my neck is really nicely supported, and my knees are bent, which are really nice for my low back. And then we'll just kind of breathe for a couple of moments here. Close your eyes. Tune into the feel of your back resting on the ground. Feel your rib cage expanding out. Back ribs are pressing against the mat. Your front ribs are expanding out towards the sky in front of you. Feel that expansion. Okay, now hug one knee into your chest. Doesn't matter which one because we're gonna do both. Hugging your knee into your chest. Great, and then let's switch legs. Hug your other knee into your chest. Relax the shoulders. Know you did some good stuff for your body here today. And then bring both of your knees into your chest and you can rock a little side to side. And then let your feet touch, but separate your knees a little bit. And then rock again side to side. Might be a little bit more hip opening that way. Okay, now bring your feet to the floor. I'm just going to move back a little bit here. So bring your feet to the floor, take your arms out from your shoulders, and then let your knees drop together over to one side. Both the knees are bent. Look to the ceiling, or even look in the other direction, away from the direction your knees are facing. Look to the ceiling, bring your knees back up to center, and then let them release to the other side. And then turn your face away from your bent knees. This is our restful twist. Okay, inhale, the knees back up. Let's do that one more time. Let your knees drop to one side. Turn your face in the other direction. Look to the ceiling. Inhale the knees up. Release the knees the other way. And then look away from those knees. And then bring your knees back up to center. Okay, now hug your right knee into your chest. Take your legs straight up in the air. And then bring your other hand, so your left hand down to the ground. Keep supporting the outside of this leg and just take this leg out to the side. We're going to keep the other hip grounded on the floor. Try to keep it sealed to the mat. But I'm using this arm kind of as a, I don't know if you can tell, I have this black top on, so the black kind of all blends in together, but I've got my elbow on the floor and I'm kind of using my upper arm as like a kickstand for my leg. Inhale to bring that leg back up, bring that foot to the ground. Great, and then let's switch to the other leg. Hug that knee into your chest, take the leg up to the sky. Okay, supporting the outside of your knee, take your leg out to the side, opening up the inner thigh. Keep that hip grounded. We're trying to keep this hip at home. And inhale to bring that leg back up. Great. Then bring your hands to your knees and circle your knees. And then take them the other way. So we're doing like 5 or 6 rounds really to each side. now bring your feet to the floor, let your knees touch here, and you can rest one hand at your chest and the other hand at your belly. Or I like doing this with my arms. I cross my arms over the top of my chest. We did this one earlier when we were seated in the chair, right? So you just let your arms be restful and your shoulders are released down. You feel like you're giving yourself a hug. Keep the upper back open and the back of the neck long. Your throat is spacious. If this isn't comfortable for you, then come back to, one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Connect back with your breathing. Enjoy 3 breaths. Okay, then let's switch the arms. So if you haven't crossed over your chest, just switch the other way. Bring the other arm on top. You could close your eyes. Feel the breath flowing in and out through your nose, filling up your lungs. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I calm my mind. And then you can release your hands. Okay, now it's time for Shavasana. So I'm going to be seated, still talking to you, but you can go ahead and get comfortable now. So, you might put socks on, or if you have a cozy blanket, have that ready to cover yourself with. Might have that blanket underneath your head. So just take a moment or two to get settled in a comfortable way. Supporting your body as needed. Rest your head. Make sure that you're warm enough because your body temperature will decrease as your body starts to relax again and you're low to the ground. So this brings the body temperature down. Now let your head rest and your shoulders relax. Let your arms be heavy, fingers light. Release down through the hips, the legs, the ankles, and the feet. Draw the breath in slowly, and then release the breath slowly. Feel the rhythm of the breath deepen. The face softens, muscles softening as your body relaxes to the embrace of the earth. For the next couple of moments, I'm going to stay quiet so that you can enjoy the feel of your breath. In a couple of minutes, I'll bring you out of this Shavasana and we'll close our class. For now, enjoy the feel of your breath, resting in the stillness around you.
attention to the feel of your breath. And then slowly bring some movement to your hands and your feet, wiggling fingers and toes. You might move your wrists and your ankles, turn your head from side to side. Move or stretch in any way that would feel nice for you now. And then slowly, as you feel ready, bend your knees and roll over to your side. Still staying comfortable like that on your side. Taking care of yourself. And then press your hands into the floor to come back to a seated position. Feel free to place the blanket underneath your hips, or if it's more comfortable for you to even sit in the chair, feel free to sit back in the chair. I hope you had a restful Shavasana. I wanted to close with this quote from Christy Ann Martine. It just seems relevant. When your world moves too fast and you lose yourself in the chaos, introduce yourself to each color of the sunset. Reacquaint yourself with the earth beneath your feet. Thank the air that surrounds you with every breath you take. Find yourself in the appreciation